right, we are live, baby. We are live, baby, and I got plenty to go over, some amazing surprises in the market. I promise you, the market's going higher, just like I've been preaching from day one. I'm a bull, baby. I'm a bear with bull horns. I'm always ready for the downfall. I'm not naive to know, but as a swing momentum trader, you better believe that I'm here, and I am here for you. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Thank you for being here today. We have so stinking much to go over. Yeah, I'll give you a little peeky gander of what's going on right now. The NASDAQ futures. Watch out, baby. We're going to go over it, but right here you can see what bad news? No bad news. No bad news is going to be taking this market down as we continue to head higher in the pre-market. It is a beautiful thing. I'm trying to reconnect the chat. What's going on with the chat? Yo, yo. What's up with the chat? It's saying it's trying to reconnect. We'll see if it does. Hopefully the internet's doing swell. I hope you're doing swell as well. The absolute best weather that we have had probably all year this weekend. Swimming, pool time, family, friends. It was a good time. We have a lot to go over. Join up. Let's go, people. Let's go. We'll get everybody in here. Listen, we have a little surprise. Old Papa Powell has dropped on us. And, well, you're here. You're going to be informed first. Let's make sure we get this out, baby. All right, let's keep this ball rolling. Welcome, I'm pumped you're here. I am glad you're here. We got about 1 minute until we start. You better believe we are gonna be bringing you the best damn news out there. I got the best freaking ticker sector watch list, so stay until the very end. If you're watching this at a later time, thank you for joining me. Watch this all the way to the end. I promise you, you're gonna learn a ton today. I've been doing my studying and I like to regurgitate what I have learned. A lot of it has been read and review and just make sure everything is absolutely perfect, especially after the humongous trade we made on Hood. It makes me want to sit back, relax, and make sure I have exactly where I want my equities allocated and in real time. We'll be doing it right here with you, so thank you so much for being with me. Let's get this party started, baby. There it is. Let's go. There's the chat. I see y'all now. What's going on? Beef Stewie in the building. Sending out that link tree right away. Squad. What up? My G, what's going on, my G? We have something beautiful to present that our boy, my G, your boy, has been working on over the weekend, and he busted his ass to make sure he could get it on during stream. It was a bit chaos for me too, because I had 30 minutes to go over this to find a way to present it to you. So we have both been working very hard, but all credit goes out to my G. He has done this for each and every one of you, and we will post it. We will have him post it so everybody has access to it. We're gonna go over that very, very soon. Carl Burr's in the building. Yosef, good to see you. Jimmy Bright. All right, guys, now it is a party. And listen, the very first thing that I need to bring up to you is this beautiful chart right here. Now, Yosef sent this out in our Discord, and I always want to give you guys a shout out, let you know, hey, I really appreciate you putting out that data and letting me know, hey, this is what's going on. Here's a different view set. Well, this is just something that he brought up, and it really had me thinking. And if you're not already bullish, I am going to give you another bull scenario. And if you're bearish, I want to hear that. I want to hear it too. I hate having such a bull biasy, but that's where I'm at right now. And it starts with this. Who's underweight? The US. Who's at new all-time highs? The US, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. We are at new all-time highs with no resistance above us, with the AI theme at hand, and an underweight investments in the US. You can see here, we need to get vested. So where's all that money going to come from? Mutual funds. It's going to come from money managers. It's going to come from people like you and I going back to work and making more money to continue to put in our 401ks, our Roth IRAs, our simple IRAs, or whatever vehicle you have on hand. What is up, Zamora? It is good to see you. Trust me, guys, today is the day. You are going to be very happy when you leave here because I have done my homework. I am very confident where I stand today, and my money is all in. I'm not even holding any cash right now, although reading a lot about how to allocate that money, holding usually 20 to 30% cash for a opportunity or a drawback for better money management is something also I've been curating in my head. But we need to check on our old Papa Powell. And listen to me, folks, if you have any questions whatsoever, you throw them up in the chat. And if I don't know, I promise Steele will sharpen Steele as we can learn together. Let's see what old Papa interest rates with Jerome Powell.
Oh, yeah.
The old Papa Powell. Well, we all know that it's not just his informatives that make us to make all of this possible. But what I will say is, you know, he ingests the data, he relates it to the public, so we like to use his name, and everybody knows old Papa Powell. Well, I always like to skip to December to show you guys we went from 3 rate cuts down to 2 rate cuts, and the market did not seem to care. Well, another bullish sentiment in this is now we are back on the table for 3 rate cuts. And instead of going through all this boring scenario, we can hop right to December. And you can see we have a 50% chance of being down to that 3.75. That is a big piece of news, a big piece of data to change right there. So if you haven't heard it yet, you heard it here first. And that is only a bigger bullish scenario. Why? Well, when the Fed reduces interest rates, it makes it easier for big businesses to borrow. Those banks allow those big businesses to borrow, and those big businesses use it to better build their infrastructure, to hire better team, to hire better software or hardware in order to continue to bring their company up and continue to spend. And that's what we like to see in the overall market. We want to see spending. So if it's easier to borrow money, it's easier to gain access to that sweet, filthy, disgusting cash. Well, then it's available and people are going to be spending. So that is what I have seen the most interesting thing, I should say, that I have seen when it comes to all the data that's getting ingested. I'm trying to cut out more and more noise in my trading. And as I do that, I start to realize I don't really need to see the CPI and the gross domestic price, the GDP. I don't need to see the PPI. I don't need to see the producer's price index. I don't need to see any of that. Why? Because none of that matters right now. The news does not matter. What I do know is all of that data gets ingested, and old Papa Powell has the power to raise or lower those interest rates. So I can just look at that, gather all the data, and then bingo, bango, we are on to the next one. We got 11 of you in here already, and the question is, are we up too much? Are we too far extended on this 10-day moving average? 29% of you think that we are due for a pullback, or we at least need one. 57% of you say the bulls are just getting started. I like to be the one to believe on that same side. Of course, I'm a bear with bull horns. I'm not naive to think that we can't pull back and retest. I always talk about the retest, the hardest areas to buy sometimes in stocks. But if this ETF pulls back for a retest, it would not surprise me. Not only lining up with a 10-day moving average, but you can see the 21 has been a significant source of buying area. So now that we're getting extended from that buying area, a pullback could definitely happen. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but we'll go over that very, very soon. And then 14% say price action is king. Of course, that's always going to be true, and you can always click on that, but I like to get the vote out there. So what's going on? It's good to see you. What's up, G? Don't want to be a buzzkill, but I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of sideways action here. Hey, brother, that's not a buzzkill, man. After a huge push like this, sometimes, you gotta let those party, they gotta sober up, right? They gotta sober up. They gotta drink their water. They gotta chill by the side of the pool, catch some sun rays, and get ready to party again. That is sideways action, and we like to see the ruckus kind of calm down, trade sideways. Allow the bigger money managers to get positioned if they haven't already. So I have to agree with you. I don't think I really don't think that that is a buzzkill at all. What is going on? Harry Divvy says, can you review UNH? How about this? If you stay till the very end of this show, which is roughly 45 minutes to an hour, and you throw in UNH, I will be happy to look at United Healthcare. But we need to take a look now at the old beef stew report, because he's got a couple in there that I did not have, and y'all need to see it.
Oh, I see you over there. You got problems? We've got the beef.
It's the beefiest, it's the stews, it's the beef stew report. This is my boy Beef Stew. He's been with me since day uno momento on the old YouTube, the El YouTubio. So when I start looking at Beef Stewie, when I've started on his journey, excuse my gibberish, when we started on this journey, I look back and I realized just how much he has grown. How much I have grown, sure, but I love watching his process. He went from absolutely not even know how to use a computer to charting amazing, beautiful patterns like you're gonna see right here. And then of course, he's gonna add his little twang with the pictures in it, which is always grab it. But you can see here, he's adding the point of control. And if you don't know how to add the point of control, I can show you that today. But he likes using the point of control where it shows the biggest area of volume and that anchored VWAP. He's pulling that anchored VWAP from this earnings area, and you can see it has multiple times showed an area of resistance. Well, now it's above that area of resistance, which is acting as support in this pennant forming area. So keep a very close eye on ELF as its earnings are starting to blow it back out of the water again. We can see a curl up in the earnings here as well. And then of course we need to look at this damn picture. What the absolute hell is this? I tell you what, not enough makeup is going to fix this beautiful face. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be using that on their advertising anytime soon, that's for damn sure. And then of course, Vernova Pharma. Now, you guys know I don't care for pharma stocks, but they can be extremely explosive. So do be very careful when you're looking at these. But this is VRNA. We have seen this a few different times. You can see their EPS and their sales growth is a little wonky. But if we look at over here on the income statement, you can see it is slowly starting to climb and they're getting themselves out of debt. Now, the overall pharmaceutical company, I know that for me, the most interest ones are using that AI, or using some type of technology to help accurately diagnose and cure their patients. And so I don't know the story behind Vernova, but it says health technology in pharmaceutical major. So do keep an eye on Vernova because this is blue skies, baby, above VRNA. So that's another nice one. And he has plenty other ones on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this. If you guys wanna follow my boy, you're more than welcome to. I love giving a little love back to him. So thank you for being not only a member, Beef Stewie, but a friend and a comrade on my journey. So that's the old Beef Stew report. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, listen, before we go into my trades and the top sectors and the tickers within those, which is gonna come up within the next 10 minutes, so stick with me, and I promise you, I'm gonna give you some comparisons to some of the trades that I'm in now compared to some of the tickers and the ticker analysis that I'm gonna show you with that and what I am expecting, okay? So keep that in mind. So let's go over my G. He just added this. You guys ever want to know, hey, this ticker's looking good and this ticker's looking good. What sector are they in? That's easy, you can see it. It's right down here at the bottom here. So if we type in NVDA, you can see right here at the bottom, it's gonna tell us it's electronic technology and semiconductors. But maybe you wanna know more. What subsector is this? What subsector? Well, my G has been busting his balls to make sure he gets something out like this. And let me just make sure I can get this up. And he's been working on this right here. Absolutely beautiful. So what we can do is I can Control F, I type in NVIDIA, it'll take me right to NVIDIA, which is right here. And you can see there's multiple NVIDIAs because it's multiple sectors here. And that's what we want to know. That's what we want to know. What is NVIDIA in? You can see here, NVIDIA, semiconductor equipment, information technology, okay? And let's see, what else is it under? Real estate, NVIDIA Corporation in AI Machine Learning Core. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong sector. This is technology. So it's also in the AI Machine Learning Core. What else is it in? We come down here, right here, semiconductor equipment. They're building their own equipments. Right here, another form of that equipment. And that is just one ticker. I mean, you know, you could type in, so let's take a look at TEM, okay? Let's see, where is TEM? Let's see here. There's a couple of them on here. Is it still bringing up NVIDIA? Is this, did I get it right? Let me see here. I think it's, because it's gonna bring up all TEM here. Yeah, let me see if I can do this one more time. TEM. I'm not seeing TEM on here. So maybe it did not pull TEM. This is the rough draft. We're gonna be adding, removing, all that good stuff, but this is absolutely beautiful. So if you need to find a subsector or what's hot, or you might say, hey, look, you know, this subsector in taxes, you know, in taxes is what we're looking for. So Control F, taxes, boom, right here. Financial exchange and data, right here. MKTX, ICE, CBOE, and CME would all be something that we could look for that financial exchange and data. Okay, and you could go in deeper. And this is what I love, because everybody in this community is doing their absolute best to bring up more, something to help the community. And my G, you have hit it on the head. So definitely keep up the amazing work, and we'll keep adding to this. We'll keep figuring out the subsectors, because if we can analyze and figure out what subsectors are really rip tater chipping, then that is where we can find the fastest movers in those sectors, and we can grab a hold of those leaders and be the first in these subsectors, okay? So thank you, my G. I do really appreciate that, and let's keep on keeping on, guys, because we have so much more to cover. So shout out to you, my G. Durgat says, look like GVH is skyrocketing on Monday. Offering closed and it's in dip. What do you think? Well, I promise you, just like I promised the last one, baby, my boy Hari Divi, if you stay till the end, which is gonna be in about 10-15 more minutes, then you ask for your ticker, and I will I promise you, I'll be happy to take a peeky gander at whatever tickers we have. While you're waiting, we got 10 votes and 18 of you in here. Vote on the poll. Is the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, are they up too high? Are we due for a pullback? That is the question. So right now, let's just really quickly go over my trades. I'm gonna show you, I'm very transparent here. I've been doing this since day one, very transparent. Let's take a little peeky gander at Hood. If you guys remember, I called this simple basing breakout, also known as a cup with handle right here. Right at that basing breakout, we took this trade, and you can see, let me put this on the 1 hour down here. We'll blow it up so you can actually see right here. You can see right here is where I entered this trade. We took 500 shares at 66.58, right at that basing breakout. Well, volume was coming up higher than the previous week. And as it continued higher, we waited until it hit roughly 20%. Mine, I ended up taking out on Friday at 8.5% roughly, and we took out half of those shares, 250 shares at 78.58. Let's just take a look and get a measurement here for everyone. Yeah, roughly, it says 19.16, but I know for a fact it was roughly around 18, because I was shooting for that 20, but I didn't have the cojones to hold overnight, and I truly am happy I didn't have to deal with any of this volatility, and I just wanted to be risk off because I had way too much of my account in this. Harvey will definitely be going over Meta, and Zamora, I think we have to do a deeper dive in MSTR, so definitely bring those up in just 1 minute. So here's my Hood trade. We are half out of this beautiful basing breakout that we called in the Discord. We were all watching on this. Yes, a bit more expensive. If you wanted something cheaper, you could use ROBN, which I think is the 2x leverage of this stock. But yes, simple basing breakout on Hood. Absolutely absolutely perfect. So where is my last half? Where do I exit my last half? It's very simple. You can tell that this 10-day moving average has served at its support area all the way since this original basing breakout that I called out, that I missed and cried for weeks about. But anyway, off this basing breakout, all the way up here, we're up 67%. And it's been following that 10-day moving average. Very, very important. This is not something you're just gonna learn every single day. If you take anything out today, it's how to sell, okay? I bought right, now I am in the spot to sit tight, okay? Buy right, sit tight. I bought right, I exited half of my shares out at 18 something percent, shooting for 20, and now that last half, I kick back, I put my arms up in the air, I'm just chilling. I don't give a crap what happens to Hood until it closes below the 10-day moving average. When that closes, to me, the sentiment has changed. The momentum is no longer there. Of course, it still could. It could still rip up, but that is my rules, and that's how I stick to it, and that's how I keep making money every damn market. Every damn bull run that we have, we're making money, baby. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. As Bitcoin is breaking this area here, as you guys can see, it pulled back and it created another trend. It broke above it. It bounced off of this area of support right here. You can see it's hit multiple times right here. I had anchored VWAP down here at the 97 area, but I also had major support down here at 94,000. So can it still come down here to retest that? Of course it can, but as of right now, it's broken its new all-time high anchored VWAP and this trending pattern, this ascending trend line, or I'm sorry, the declining trend line. And as it breaks up higher, it's coming back up to retest those all-time highs at 110,000. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. And as Zamora just brought up, we will be going over MSTR. I think it's very, very important as it is kind of the pinnacle. All eyes are on MSTR to see what really is going to happen with this new type of trade, you know? So very, very interesting stuff there. Now, one cool thing is the IWM just barely got above that 200-day moving average. And guys, this has always been a lagger. I remember this thing trading sideways when the overall market was just stretched out. This thing still just traded sideways. When it finally got above it, it just released. And the market has been climbing ever since, folks. It's been climbing ever since, and this thing hasn't gone anywhere. So when will the Russell 2000, when will small caps get their debut? I know we've seen a lot of very specific tickers really start to take off here in the smaller cap territory, but nothing that is sustainable, nothing that the more speculative minds, the bigger speculative, they have too much money, they don't know where to put it, they don't have that yet. Right? Once they get to the point where speculative money starts to enter the room, you're going to see IWM start to really rip. So keep an eye on IWM because I think we might start to see some rotation into IWM, or at least some more attention into it. So keep an eye on that. Now we could run through all of these. We really could, and I'm just not going to do it. We're going to keep an eye on these leaders, the SPY, the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, and we're going to always take a look at that IWM just because we need a sentiment in the overall market, went large cap all the way down to small cap. Okay, nice music, hell yeah, thank you. My G says, or you can use Quicksand and Grateful Dead to no one. Very useful. You'll have to actually key me in on exactly what that is. All right, guys, so back to my trades. Crawl, CRWL. So right now in CRWL, this is a new trade. Both of these next ones are gonna be new trades, CRWL. What is CRWL? It is CrowdStrike. It's just a 2x leverage. So we're gonna look at CrowdStrike, CRWD, CrowdStrike. Take a little peeky gander here. We've played this multiple times. If you guys remember, I played this basing breakout. Does it look very similar? Yes, it does. It looks exactly like Hood. And what was funny is when we had this big bounce up here, this is what I drew out. I said this was best case scenario. And that's why I took it. If I draw a best case scenario, it gives me best case scenario. You better believe I'm taking that trade. We took this trade, we made money. I exited the day before earnings. So we made a small chunk. You know, it was roughly 3.15%, but that's nothing, absolutely nothing. Right now we have another basing breakout right here, okay? This basing breakout I am in. I said when I got into this trade, I told my wife, look, I bought shares but I did not buy enough, and I just don't have the heart to just plunge into the stock right now. I was a little uncomfortable, especially coming off such a huge trade and finally de-risking. I didn't want to just jump right back on the ride. So I got in small, and then when we got this pullback on Friday, that's when I started to load the boat, because now my risk is a little closer to my my stop, which is now previous day's close. I didn't want to use this one here, but previous day's close. That way I can stay above that 10-day moving average. And if it doesn't go, then I have to wait. That just shows me that I did not get in the trade when the momentum was right. I think the momentum's right. I'm expecting this to go up higher. I'm expecting it to maybe not gap up, but I'm expecting it to be somewhere near the highs when we open. So we'll see if I'm right on that. If not, that's okay. I have my risk in mind, and that's closing below that 10-day, and we'll keep an eye on that from there. Of course, the 21, once we get out of this momentum, I will use my 21 as my stop loss. Once it catches up and breaks through, as it's acting as the true support here, okay? And do keep in mind, I'm always looking at this EPS quarterly and the sales earning quarter over quarter as well. I want to see green. I like green, baby. We don't like to see too much red in this. Once in a while is fine, but we like to see green. We like to see it increasing, okay? And then last but not least, I took AS. Now AS, this is something that I really want to talk to you guys about, because we always go in about entries. What's up, Jolene? Good to see ya. We always talk about entries, and as base breakout momentum traders, entry is the most important part, in my personal opinion. Obviously next to risk management, but that's where you are getting proper risk management, is your entry. So I want to use AS as an example, because even if this trade fails on me and it does stop me out, this is the type of trade I would take over and over and over again. Okay, so you can see here we got great EPS and great sales growth. It is a newer IPO. If you take a little peeky gander here, you can see this thing started in February of last year. So it's not even, well, it's just about a year old now, and it's trading very well. You can see the 200-day moving average, everything is rising, and you can see it form this beautiful base here. Well, what did I like mostly about this? You can see on the daily, the beautiful candle here, you know, giving a lot of support to its previous volume from earnings, right? So here we are. When we go into this 5-minute time frame here, you guys really need to pay attention to this. So this is the whole reason why I got so pumped today. I found a great example for you. When you find a stock and you're watching the market, now this white line right here is that basing breakout area. And as the market is just teetering around, AS just rips up and it goes right, slices right through this average right here. And it's on higher volume, but it's right when the market opens, right? So if you're gonna play this and right when the market opens, this thing takes off, it makes me kind of want to wait, especially because it's running right into its area of resistance. So I did. I waited, and look at volume price contraction on that 5-minute time frame, and then boom. What happens right here as it forms a base on the 5-minute time frame, right at its basing breakout area? Right here, we have a humongous increase on this damn thing. Absolutely enormous amount of volume on this thing. I'm trying to, I just added this back. I was hoping, oh, there we go. It's now 4.12 average. And then this volume on this day, where is it? I can't see it. Well, let me just tell you this. If you get a visual perspective on this, it's saying the average volume's well over 1,000%. When you see a candle like this on the 5-minute time frame, and you're looking at a basing breakout area on the daily time frame, and it lines up with this, and you get a piece of volume coming in here that absolutely craters this stock, I shouldn't say craters, absolutely lifts this stock up off of its feet, this is what you want. This is what you want to see. I started buying shares in here, okay, just dipping my toes in, and then if it broke down here, I wasn't gonna play it, but I seen it was basing right here. It was basing. I got a few shares, just I think maybe 100 shares, just nothing big, just kind of to watch it. I exit trades all the time and just throw in 100 shares, kind of see how it feels. When I seen this volume come in here, I just plunged. I did. I ended up plunging. Let me see. I know that Torque ended up getting a really good price on this. I think he got 3 pennies better than me, And I just told him I hated him because you turds always get a little bit better price than I do. I hope that you guys are lying. I'm like, I gotta hold the best price. I gotta have the lowest price. I'm the trader here. No, I love the competition. It's awesome. But yeah, so you can see right here, I tried it once before on smaller share size, and I exited that same day because it wasn't working out. And look, it pulls back. Well, right here, right on that ticker, bada bing, bada boom, 400 shares. So I got 400 shares right here. We're up $309, and I think that's close to 1R of what I'm risking right here. Close to 1R. We're almost up that 1R. So we're about 1% away from being up 1R on this trade. And my take at 20% is going to be 46.32. So that's where I'm going to take half of this trade off. But yes, AS is an absolute beast. It's in the sports equipment. They produce globally, yada, yada, yada. But one thing that I want to point out just before we switch gears here, so pay attention. If you just back this thing up, look at the daily, okay? See how this base forms, how it comes up here and then it gets really, really tight. And then we get an enormous amount of volume that breaks through this base here. Let me look at another one, AEVA, that I called out for you in the Discord as well. This is a sad trade for me because I exited that same day on the breakout simply because I looked up, to make a long story short, I asked Grok and Grok told me it was tomorrow. And I was in the middle of working on a project, so I exited the trade. I think I was up 18% or 16 to 18% within a day, like a 6-hour trade. So I exited. I was happy with it at the time, but obviously, if I knew EPS wasn't for a couple more days, I would have been easily able to hold on to it. It wasn't a crazy amount of shares, and then I could have held half through earnings, and then this thing never touched that 10-day moving average. You know, so shoulda, woulda, coulda. I learned from this, you can't trust Grok. I mean, it gave my wife the wrong street directions today. You know, I'm not trusting Grok, okay? I'm not trusting the damn Grok very much lately. So that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Those are my excuses. Now, we're gonna go over the sector watch list here, guys. And if you guys have questions about one in a sector that I don't have, please ask. I want you guys to ask. I want you guys to be very involved in this. So this is the section that everybody is waiting for. This is when we go over the leaders and you guys let me know. Let me know if there's something I missed or something that we really need to take a peeky gander on here, okay? We're gonna start off with, we're gonna skip gold. Actually, we can just look at GLD just because this is what I was calling as the top, folks. This is what I was calling, and now look, we just gapped down from the 50-day moving average. You think that's a good sign or a bad sign? That's what I call a big drip. And this drip's about to make a puddle on a lot of people if they don't have stop losses. So that's gold. So I don't really care for gold right now, but nuclear, I was talking to my boy B Stewie, the old beefy stew, and I think nuclear is about ready to have their turn. You can see right here the NLR, this is the ETF for nuclear. You can see it forming this base right here. It's very important because it's following the 10-day moving average, and when it bases out, after expansion, we get contraction, and after contraction, we get expansion. To which side, I don't know, neither do you. But what I will say is you can find proper risk reward when things get tight like this. So we have a few stocks here, this is uranium, OKLO is still holding that 21-day moving average, very important here. NNE is also bouncing off that 21-day moving average. If we zoom out here, we can see this a little better. Let me just give you guys a better view here. What am I thinking? We also have SMR. This is SMR. This one was my favorite. This is the one that I kept saying that I thought was the leader just because it had the best financials at the time. But yeah, SMR is holding this 10-day moving average. You can see it pop down to grab that 21. But I like SMR if the nuclear theme is to continue, which I imagine it is because the AI theme is to continue and something has to power it. And also the government is trying to get nuclear back up and running. So I like SMR, that's my favorite out of this. But of course, LEU was a big one, big ramper up here. It's finally digesting some of this move. But this thing made a humongous run all the way down here from this $79 area 163%. You can't argue with a little digestion here. And then also we have CCJ, much slower, 3.1%, but still climbing every single day. Definitely ones to keep on your nuclear and uranium watch list. Then of course we have the autonomous vehicles. Now I'm not going to go through all the autonomous vehicles. I want to point out some of the big ones like this NBIS. I know quite a few of us are watching this in the Discord. This is looking beautiful. This is a cup with handle, clearly. Let me just measure the cup, make sure I'm not talking out of turn here. Well, technically it's over that 30%, so not a cup with handle. But you could consider this a cup, regardless. We got a base here, folks. We have a base on NBIS. This thing is very, very interesting. I really do like it. It's definitely one that you should keep on your watch list as well as NBIS. I think they're the LiDAR. If I'm remembering right, I think that's LiDAR. And AEVA, that is LiDAR as well. So keep that in mind. Doing really, really good. OUST, Jolene's absolute killer trade here. She played this facing breakout here, made a ton of money, and I think she still has a piece. Jolene, if you're still with us, let me know. You're still holding a piece of this, I think, because it didn't close below the 10-day moving average. So let me know. You still holding it? Let me know. Let me know. ORKT looks good. Oh, we'll go over everything that's been in the chat. I promise you, we're almost through this, guys. We also have SERV. This is in the robotics. This is what I'm keeping an eye on. Definitely not the strongest thing out there. If you're looking at robotics, you're looking at Tesla. Tesla is more robotics in the autonomous vehicles. So I don't know how Serve got in here. Now this is mine. Cybersecurity. This is what I like. This is what I've been focusing on. Beef Stewie, you took AS as well at 38.57. Let me take a look. Let me see what I got. You're always beating my price. I got 38.50. Hang on. You got 38.57. I got no way, dude. Shut up, dude. You did not. You're lying. You went back and looked to see what price I got it for. He's trying to say he got it for a penny better than I did. 38.57 on AS, my ASS, bro. You're lying through your damn teeth. You're lying through your damn teeth, Stewie. 38.58. You don't have that beat. Torque's the only one that beat that price, boy. Jolene added. Let's go. You actually have it marked where I added on house. Okay, did I? Okay. Sometimes I do. Right here. Did you add right? Oh, yeah. Okay. I think you added right here at that 20, right? You gotta be kidding me. So Jolene's been absolutely on fire lately. She's gonna have to give us a like a mentorship or something on all these damn momentum breakouts. She's killing it. She's absolutely killing it. I love putting her up on a pedestal because you know, when she came in here, she was just doing leisurely investing, and now she's absolutely kicking ass and taking names. Okay, cool. So yeah, Jolene says, yeah, this is exactly where she added trend break, which this is a hard add for me because you're extended from the 10-day. But you know, this thing with this kind of volume, you know, I can't argue. You're kicking ass, you're taking names. Very, very proud of you and very happy you have this. So congrats on AUS, which is, I think is another LiDAR. I think that's in the LiDAR sector there. So my G says, wasted my Friday focusing on PLTR. What the F happened there? Any ideas? You know, that's a great question. So when it comes to PLTR, you know, I don't know. First, just to be very clear, I don't know what happened here. That was a humongous pullback here at 9.87%. But if we look at the bigger picture here, you can clearly see this trend is definitely still intact. So I think a pullback like that warrants a shakeout, and then it might end up climbing right back up. What I would like to see when we get these big shakeouts in PLTR, just like you see here, we want to see it get soaked right back up. And within the next 3 or 4 days, it needs to be back up close to those all-time highs, or it's going to start to look bad. That's a big bout of volume there, bringing it right down and then also closing at that low. So that's not a good sign for PLTR. But if we zoom out and we really see the direction of this thing, the EPS and the sales growth, the contracts that they're bringing in, this is absolutely looking still good. This 30-day moving average is the key moving average that we want to keep a look at. Then of course we have the 50, but our support here is at 124. And if we want to go deeper into PLTR, because you know, it's on everybody's watch list here, you know, we can even do you know, some things over here. Let's try the point of control here. I know a lot of us like to use that point of control. So here's the fixed volume profile. We'll start from back here. We'll just pull that, and you can see the highest area of volume is right here down at $84. The next biggest area of volume is 124, which is right at that 50-day moving average. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. The 50-day moving average is looking like it's best support in volume or in price action, okay? So we still have an area to come down. Look where that 50-day moving average also coincides with. It's basing breakout area. And I always tell you guys, the hardest area to buy is usually the simple basing breakout retest areas. And that's exactly what PLTR is doing. I still think it's intact. I still think it's a leader in this AI sector. And I think it's just getting a pullback. Somebody must have decided they don't want to be a part of this. Maybe they want to be a part of something else. Maybe money does start to rotate. Maybe this is a sign that the market is going to start to fall apart. All of those things could be very, very true, but right now I am a bull in this market until the overall market tells me that something's changing. I will just note this and then carry on. So yes, PLTR definitely, you know, right now I think there's better things out there, better things setting up. But because this helped lead the overall market, we need to keep a close eye on PLTR, because if it continues to fail, we might see this trail off into other things and other things start to fail as well. Now Cecil is definitely one. Cecil, I don't know. This thing is absolutely just on some drugs. SEZL is just rip tater chip to the absolute damn moon and back. I'm telling you guys, this thing is just nuts. After this EP growth here, you can see it's went well over 150%. So definitely keep an eye on this, because I'm not saying that you need to buy this thing here. I would never buy it here, nor would I buy it down here. I want to wait for a beautiful basing breakout to form. If it can show me a beautiful basing breakout, I will be in it. CRWV, this shown a true high tight flag. CRWV had a true high tight flag. It broke out of that true high tight flag, and now it's lingering around like some bad breath right at that trending breakout area. So the question is here, will CRVW continue to hold this area, form a base, and then break out higher? That's what I want to see for CRWV. This is definitely changing things in the technology area. They're doing things and they're doing it different. So that's what we want to see. Let's see here, cyber software. Oh, TEM. So we're doing a little research about TEM. So I think they're the only company right now that's really looking into those pharmaceuticals and how they can use that to help cure some things, you know? So let's keep an eye on TEM. This is a yearly basing breakout here. That's what I love to see. You know, my biggest money and the biggest movers I have seen so far on bigger stocks like TEM are usually 6 to 9 month basis. Okay, so right now this thing is just chopping sideways, really. But because it's creating these new higher lows and it's forming this base right here, oh my gosh, she needs to go away. She just won't shut up. Sorry guys, the cat, she just sits there and whines for no reason. Anyway, TEM, 3 new higher lows. Right here, we have 1 new higher low. We have 2, you could call that 2, but we're gonna call this one 2. And then 3, holding a trend line, forming these new higher lows, and then squatting up underneath the $75 base. This is what we wanna see in order to take a trade in TEM. So if you're looking for another play in AI, TEM's been doing it big. You can see a ton of volume now coming in for this thing. Absolutely nuts, absolutely nuts. So I think that's good for the cyber software. There's so many good stocks out there, guys. There's so many things that we could talk about. If you don't know already, NVIDIA's back being an absolute just rocket ship. So keep an eye on that. Blue skies for NVIDIA as well, and it led the AI race, and guess what? We're right back at it, baby. So we're gonna see if this thing wants to continue to gap. I know the few other times we broke out, you guys know I talk about NVIDIA at that $50 area all the time. This thing did not stop. There was no way to get in this thing until it finally pulled back, but then the next gap up was just, woo. NVIDIA was fun, NVIDIA was amazing, and I hope that still has some play in it. It only moves 2.1% in the average daily range, so the best thing that you can do is come on over here to NVDL and trade the 2x long leverage. But just keep in mind, if you're gonna trade a 2x leverage, understand the higher risk implications that has. Beef Stewie with the icon, I love it, dude. Do you remember that? People would subscribe and that picture would pop up and say, Chewie, thanks for your support. I love it. Right here's that link tree, guys. If you guys are interested at all, I'm actually using TradingView. Right here is TradingView. And guess what? You, the fans, the members, have actually paid for my subscription. So thank you for doing that. If you want to use TradingView, right here it is. You click stick, see you later, bye. That will get you started. If you decide to sign up for the essential plan to get all the extra add-ons, that is totally fine. That is how I make a little bit of money. If you're going to use TradingView, we can help each other out. You'll get your first month free. If you want to keep using it for absolutely free, you can. It is free. But if you want add-ons, you want to do all the extra stuff, get the essential plan, use my link. I make a little money. So thank you for posting that, B. Stewie. Let's keep on keeping on, guys. Got a lot to get through, and then, of course, I want to go over your tickers, because I promised you we will go over your tickers. I don't care what they are, we will go over them. So semiconductors, of course, AEVA, are you kidding me? I mean, I guarantee so many people are going to be talking about this stock constantly, so just keep an eye on that. SMH, which is the ETF, right? Almost within spitting distance of new all-time highs. I'm telling you, what is wrong with that cat? Hang on, guys. I gotta put this cat outside or something. Come here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nope, not gonna catch a cat. All right. Semiconductors, guys, I feel like a lot of them are just crazy high. Like they're all ripping, right? MU right into this area of resistance. AMD, I was looking at AMD a while back. I even drew this line out here. It was running right into that 200-day moving average. You know, it's just not something I can get on board because it's not leading, but I had a feeling it was gonna go higher. AMD has amazing EPS and sales growth. They're doing great. They really are. They followed the ship. They followed NVIDIA up too high, too fast. They just kept following it, kept going higher. And then when NVIDIA finally starts to pull back, everybody's like, okay, well, AMD's not that good. You know what I mean? So just keep an eye on AMD because it is a good chip stock to be a part of, to have on your watch list, but it is not the leader. Okay, there's much other ones, AVGO, NVDA, AEVA. Those are the leaders. Those are the real bangers. Okay. Those are the ones that are going to keep going up as the market goes up. Now we have batteries. The only one I want to look at is MVST. B. Stewie and I were talking about this. It also looks like it's trying to hold this area of support at 350. If this thing can keep on keeping on, it has a lot of room to run, it being a smaller and a newer company. So keep an eye on MVST for those batteries. Yes, Zamora, AVGO, definitely. AVGO is an absolute beast. If you're looking at NVIDIA or AVGO, you know, AVGO is just gonna capture some of NVIDIA's momentum, and they're doing it. They've been around for a while, new higher lows. We had this beautiful trend breakout right here, squatting on that 10-day moving average, looking really, really good. Then just clearing that and heading much, much higher now at 271.85. AVGO looks amazing. And then I know Yosef was in ARM here, and I marked out where he bought it. I thought it was an interesting area. I thought there were much better stocks that you could be a part of. But again, we all trade a little different, and I'm always rooting for you. I'm always expecting you to have positive returns, but I'm always going to give my truthful and transparent opinion. I think there was better stocks out here, but you can't argue with price action because my boy Joseph is up around 15% on this trade right now, running into a new area of resistance. The first area of resistance that I mentioned, it just cut right through butter like it wasn't even there. So ARM is agreeably deciding it is part of this race, trying to get back up there to those new all-time highs. We'll see if it can get past that. Let's carry on because I'm telling you, there are so many damn things. GEV absolutely killing it, new all-time highs. We're gonna need energy, 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 and that is one of them. Crypto, I mean, guys, have you not seen coin? Coin went off these bottoms and now hit new all-time, well, I guess, I'm sorry, not new all-time highs. Its IPO, after its IPO debut, it actually reached $429.54. Right now, it's actually trading at $350, $343. So it actually still has a little ways to go before it clears the all-time highs. I'm not going to consider that the all-time high. That's just crazy volatility. Nobody's sitting up there right now willing to sell. Okay, I would consider these your all-time highs right here at this 367.23. Regardless, we can't call it new all-time highs, or you're going to chastise me. So we will say it is at the area of resistance. If this thing can base out right in this area, give us proper risk reward, coin might set up for a future trade. Now, I said I would talk to you about it, and I'm going to talk to you about it right now. MSTR for an opening range breakout tomorrow morning might be advantageous for you. Of course, we called out the trend break. The trend break's just trading sideways. If you're still in it and you're still holding, congratulations. It has been hard. If it breaks this area, that's going to be your stop loss, right? The shakeout, now it's starting to break out. You can even use these moving averages as your stop loss as well if it closes below that. So it's kicking ass, it's taking names, it's still holding this area. If it can go, it should do it tomorrow as Bitcoin has reached a new 108 price area, which is a new, that I should stop saying new, but it's back to that area of resistance. All right, I got a couple more quantum computing, QTUM. This is the quantum computing ETF. You can see 91.74 new all-time highs on Friday. So keep an eye on RGTI, squatting down on that 50-day moving average, but not showing relative strength to the ETF itself. QBTS, same thing, breaking those moving averages. So is it going to be able to hold? Will it be able to? IONQ holding up the best, still above all of their moving averages. I think IONQ, I stamped this one as its leader in the beginning. Of course, a lot of other things are starting to show some promising and some interesting areas. We'll see if IONQ wants to continue to be the leader or not. But I marked this out as a trend break. We're going to see if it wants to continue higher. QBT, I keep finding this more and more interesting as it's squatting, it's getting tighter. We just kind of need these to get filtered out a little bit, guys. We really do. Get this filtered out. And what I mean by filter them out is you're going to get 30, 40, 50 stocks, right, in nuclear and crypto and batteries and semiconductors. We just want to know who is going to emerge the top dog. Who is going to be the Ciscos and the Yahoos? You know, who is going to be the Microns in the 90s? We want to know who the biggest and the best leaders are going to be so we can just smack them with a mouthful of cash and let them bring back the return so we can keep making 50, 60, 100, 200% on our accounts each and every year. I think you guys want that because I know I sure as hell do as well. We also have our ARQQ. I haven't looked too deep into this one, but I think one of you guys gave me this one. It's holding up probably the best. But this is probably the low float, small cap ticker, so watch your ass on this one. You can see here it's already doing split adjustments and stuff. That one you got for free. I don't like that one. Then, of course, let's go over aerospace. We have a couple of really good ones in here. ACHR getting very, very interesting right here as we just had a doji candle here. I can make it very clear as day for you guys. Very simple trend breakout setting up right here. If it can get above this area and do it on volume, that would probably be the area to buy, right above that 1050 area. But we got to see volume, just like I showed you guys in the beginning. Okay, watch for that volume on the 5-minute time frame. You got your area marked out. Make sure it shows up on your 5-minute time frame. We look at it on a 5-minute time frame, and look at this. Look at this. It's starting to break out. Where's the volume? There's no volume here. We're not going to trust that breakout in the pre-market. but this is what you want. Then we look in the 5-minute time frame. Maybe tomorrow morning, the volume comes in. It goes absolutely bonkers, batshit crazy. It gaps up. We're at 1195. Then we can take an opening range breakout. All right, there's a few different ways we like to trade, and that is just one of them. BYRN looking absolutely amazing with this basing breakout right here at the top. This 33.42 area is the basing breakout. It's where I have my alert, and that's where you should have yours. Also, DFEN, I get a little mixed up on you guys, sorry about that. This is the ETF, breaking new all-time highs. It is also blue skies, baby. So if this thing wants to keep on keeping on, there's not much up here. I'm not really gonna count this. This is just free fall. So you guys can see here, it's pretty much blue skies here. We might run into some kind of resistance here, but as the ETF goes, this thing is really getting some amazing capitulation to the north side, so we'll see if it wants to continue. The honorable mentions here, HWM. I've been saying that this is the leader for quite some time now. It's been kicking ass. It's just a slower mover at 2.1%. Obviously kicking butt, taking names, but really this GE, this is doing very, very well as well, so keep that on your watch list. A little bit faster mover here. When I say a little bit, we're at 4.7%, so pretty quick. We got a couple more that are much faster. This is KTOS looking very good, and Rocket Lab, absolutely amazing, going out of this world. So that is what I have for your aerospace. So folks, if you've made it this far, if you've made it to the end, put it in the chat and let me know you're still alive, you're still with me, because I know it is like pulling teeth trying to go through this with some of you people. Some of you guys say you want to make money, you want to make millions, but you don't want to put the time or the effort in. You don't even want to watch a guy on YouTube who has already done all of his homework, who's already made every damn mistake. I've made every damn mistake, and I'm here to try and just curb your appetite, curb your appeal in the overall stock markets, get you away from those small caps, get you to quit day trading, get you to find those stocks that are relatively strong in the overall market. Find the trend and the base breakouts so we can play the momentum, we can make big money, and we can get out of those stocks so we don't get married to goddamn anything. So I hope you guys are, oh, Jolene's still here. Jolene, she's still here. Aerospace and defense. Yeah, baby, aerospace and defense. Let's go. Jeff Rosenberg says, KRM, what are the other defense stock leaders? Are we talking about aerospace defense? Or are you just talking, let's take a look at KRM. Let's take a little peek. KRM's looking really, really good. New IPO. Let's dive a little bit deeper. KRMN. Let me pull it up on the sweet charts, baby. The sweetest of the charts. So you guys can see here, we are starting to see a little bit of sales growth here. We have a newer IPO stock as it is holding new all-time highs right here. This is the Aerospace and Defense Electronic Technology. I'll read a little bit about what they do. As Caravan Holding engages in the design, testing, manufacturing, and sales of defendable missiles systems. It offers payload protection and deployment systems, aerodynamic interstage systems, and propulsion systems. So this is a great looking defense stock as it moves 4.4 cents on its 4.47% on its average daily range, and its float is 22.3%. The shares float 29.49 million. The RS rating, that's what I'm looking for, 96%. So it's looking absolutely kick-ass. So yeah, absolutely love it. That was from my boy Jeff Rosenberg. Let me go ahead and throw that on the leaders, because this is, and you know, I know that KRMN, right? No, that wasn't right. Yeah, KRMN. Okay, cool. And I know Beef Stewie has brought that up a couple of times, so I definitely should have already had it on here. He's probably like, he's ready to knock me out. Norman, my boy, Norman Conklin, thank you so much for being here, brother. I'm glad you are here. Libby, what's going on, Libby? It's good to see you. I know you are always here. You're kicking ass and taking names. My G's still in the building. Yosef, still here. Zamora, still here. Let's go, people. Let's go. All right, so my next question is, what tickers do you want me to take a little peeky gander at? I could scroll through all this, but if you're here and you still are with me, I'm willing to take any ticker. I don't care if it's a small cap, if it's a shit ticker, even if it's below a 200-day moving average, as long as you know that I'm going to give you shit for giving me a ticker that's below a 200-day moving average, okay? Let's take a look at bros for my bro Yosef. Yosef is the main man in the Discord, always bringing ChatGPT in to help with his trades. And what I do like is Dutch Bros. You can see it's holding this 50-day moving average very, very well. We have the EPS and sales growth on here. Take a look at this, guys. This is in the coffee, and you can see they're getting a lot of their swelling share size here from Starbucks starting to go lower, and a lot of those coffee investors, those coffee gurus are coming on over to Dutch Bros. Heard a lot of good things about Dutch Bros as well. So just keep an eye on this, guys, because I see a beautiful basing breakout area right here. Bada bing, bada boom, right at 72.66. You can call it an even $75 area, whatever have you. But as you can see, if we can start to make new higher lows, which we are right here, new higher lows, baby. Now we need to hold this area. We can push up, get tight under the $72 area, and then take off to the north side. We have EPS and sales growth. It's all looking really, really good, folks. It's definitely one, if you don't have this on your watch list, you definitely need to have it on your watch list. This thing also moves, let's see, the RS rating 91.75, and look at this, it moves 4.31%. So it meets everything that we need to see. Now all we need to see is volume at that basing breakout area. All right, let's see what else we got here. Bros, I bought it because of Beef Stewie a month ago. Thanks, Beefy. Hell yeah. Now, Beef Stew's always got good reports, and his niche is aerospace and defense. So if he's charting it out and he shows those proper good risk-reward areas, you definitely grab a few shares. So yeah, shout out to the old Beef Stewie. Libby Franchuk says, Apple is confusing me. You know, I feel like Apple's confusing a lot of people. It's like, hey, what the hell is going on? You know, we got trade deals, we got all the good stuff going on. Why is Apple still down here? Well, I'll tell you this, I don't know either. I have no idea. Maybe they haven't came out with a good way to integrate AI into their products. Maybe their sales are starting to deplete. Maybe wherever they're getting, wherever they're producing and manufacturing, it's costing too much. Maybe they have too many things going on, or they're not making enough money anymore. Regardless, innovation has drove Apple. What are they making that is new, better, hotter, faster? Definitely not their damn cell phones. I mean, I don't need a better camera. I don't need another square on the front of my freaking phone. I have a camera, it works just fine. I take pictures of broken toilets. I mean, what the hell? I don't need any Apple's crap, and I don't buy Apple's crap because I feel like it's too self-centered for me personally. So I've always been against Apple. I don't care about Apple, but when it comes to the actual stock itself, the only thing I can say is it is in a stage 4. I feel like this here is your stage 1, 2, 3, entering stage 4. Okay, it's not in a full stage 4, but I think it's entered stage 4, and I think this thing could continue to just keel on over as people will pull more of their money out of Apple and try to integrate their cash in their more speculative equities that are harnessing those powers of AI. Okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many, many times before. My stop loss tells me when I'm wrong, but I'm not putting my money into this thing. I'd rather have it in an NVDA, an AVGO, an AEVA, an AS, a cybersecurity name, a nuclear stock. Screw Apple right now. It's below. So yes, it is a bit confusing, right? Because it's led the market for so many years. So many years. But now look, as Apple starts to shrink, and as Apple's market cap starts to go, we have new leaders emerging. NVIDIA, well, we can't call them new, but we can say we have other leaders emerging. As you can see, AVGO is starting to swell up. Definitely not as big of a market cap as Apple. My head was in the way for that whole ordeal. Right, here's Apple, here's NVIDIA. You can see NVIDIA swelling Apple. AVGO starting to catch up. You know, Meta's starting to catch up here. It's no longer the leader in the overall stock market. You know, it's really starting to fall. So a bit confusing, definitely. My G, tariffs, yeah, but China just landed a trade deal. I think it definitely helped the scare, but why didn't it pop up with the trade, you know, why didn't it pop up or continue higher when we started to get better news about those tariff deals? So I don't think it's tariffs that are really holding it down, but I think it's a conglomerate of everything. But I think the main thing is innovation. I don't see anything new that Apple's coming out with that people just are in awe, that they have to have. It could be the tariffs. That could be, something that helped keep it down. All that fear adding up, it definitely could help. But all I know is instead of trying to figure it out, we look at the price action. Price action tells me it's below a 200-day moving average, and nobody's really interested in this damn stock right now. If we break out, we get above this 200-day moving average, we start entering back into it stage 2, possibly a new stage 3, stage 3, maybe possibly into a stage 2, then we're talking. Okay? What else we got? CYN. Let's take a peeky gander. So CYN, I can tell you right now, when we see CYN, here's the 200-day moving average. Absolute garbage doo-doo stock. Now you can see the EPS and sales growth starting to ramp up here, and the volume is absolutely nuts down here. That's nuts. So we're gonna have to see it on a better time frame here. Let me pull this up, CYN on here, see if it looks a little better. I got too many indicators on my chart. On the other one, it makes it wonky. Nope, just as shit. I mean, look at this thing. What? Who told me to look this up? Hannah Weatherly? Okay, I shouldn't laugh. You're new. My bad. So when I'm looking at stocks, I'm looking for momentums and leaders and stuff like that. And I said I wasn't going to give you too much shit, but this is scary. This is really, really scary to me because I don't know where you're at in your trading journey, but this is one of those things where you see something like this and you're like, oh my gosh, this thing just gapped up, an ungodly percent, 200%. This thing could go to the moon, but you got to understand, every time this thing gaps up, it just gets sold off. Like, look at that. Gapped up, sold off. Gaps up, right here, sells off. Gaps back up, sells off. And now look, we're making new lower lows. So if you want my honest opinion here, and my true and honest opinion here is, you got to stay away from this. You have to stay away from this. You want to look at something that is trending up, not just gapping up, but you actually want to see something that is trending up. You want to see something that is constantly making a trend up. You can clearly see this 200-day moving average is showing a trend up higher. So I would stay away from the CYNs. That's just not my trade. And I mean, I hope that helps. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, we can talk more about it. Yeah, so we did kind of go over IO and Q. I like it. I think it's already broke its trend. It's holding the 30-day moving average, Zamora. I think, obviously, I'd like to see this 45 as a basing breakout, but trend breakouts work out too. You guys know I play them. I found a lot more success on the basing breakouts. So you could play something like this, right here at the 42 and get proper risk reward in right here. Or you can wait for it to get tight under the 45, depending on how you want to play. But I like it. Not something I'm going to play. Just because I don't like their financials. So like if you guys look at nuclear stocks and you look at quantum computing stocks, they don't have a lot of financials. So it's hard for me to want to hold them overnight because if they don't have financials and I don't see that they're making money, where are they going to get their money from? Well, they're going to take it from their shareholders. They're going to dilute the stock and they're going to take money from you and I. And that's never a good look for a stock. Now, we could argue about that all night, but that's just how I trade. That's how I look at things. That's how I grow and gain conviction in a trade. My G. Mama says, good info. What's up, Mama? She's still awake. She's still awake. Somebody get her some cookies. She's been working hard, kicking ass, taking names, taking care of Grandma. Much love. Much love for you, Mama. Libby says, appreciate the insight. Yes, I have been questioning its leadership. Very nice. Very, very nice. NAGE, Beefy Stewie says, yes, this thing is absolutely beautiful. The only thing I don't like is it is a biotech, okay? Try to say that without puking. Biotech, pharmaceuticals, I don't care for them, even though, January of 2023, I made a ton of money playing, I think it was MRUS, which is, I think, therapeutic stock. Regardless, guys, it's just not my forte. It's not something that I love to play, but you cannot argue with price action. This thing clearly is doing well, holding a 10-day moving average, and now showing you that we have a basing breakout right here, NAGE. If you like the biotechs, this is bioscience. This right here looks like a beautiful breaking area of 1430. If we get volume there, just like I showed you on AEVA or like I showed you on AS, this is the same exact trade, folks. Same exact trade. So keep an eye on NAGE. Yeah, B. Stewie for sure. For sure, dude. Jimmy Bright says, trade has not slowed down. We are busy at work. Yes, sir. The trades have not slowed down for sure. And Jimmy, the way I took it is the trades have not slowed down, but you're busy working, so you can't take these trades. Either way, dude, I feel that. I've missed quite a few trades because I was at work, and it really sucks. I come home, I cry to the wife. She rocks me to sleep at night while I silently whisper the ticker as I fall asleep crying. It's the true story. She can contest. Let's see. Jolene says CYN had 2 offerings the same day. And look at that, folks. Look at that. I said this thing's probably going to dilute their shareholders. They don't have, yada, yada, yada. And right there it is. 2 offerings in the same day. I've never even heard of that, actually. CYN got a deal with NVDA. NVDA is the leader. Gapped up, then had the 2 offerings. Wow. Jolene, thank you for that information. Jolene, I remember when you first started, you were like, what can I do to be useful? And I was like, well, you can start reading the news on all these tickers and give us the hottest news. And now look at you. It's like you guys know everything, man. You and B. Stewie, the amount of reading you guys do, you put me to shame. I promise you. Like, you guys are going to get really good at news catalysts. News catalysts. Because EPS and sales growth is what drives, right? But to really get that first oomph, news catalyst, baby. That's how we make money on EPs. Jolene says PSNL. PSNL, absolutely in anything for you, Jolene. Let's take a little peeky gander at what we got. You can see big ramp up, huge pullback. We're down here as a penny stock down here. And now we start gaining some attention. Now, you know what this reminds me of? See this? 1, 2, 3. This same setup right here reminds me of a ticker I brought up. Now I got to look at the ticker. Let me look at my big watch list, my big boy watch list. And I think it was FN. So look at FN here. It looks quite similar. There's an extra one here, but see how you get these kind of dramatic pops and drops, pops and drops, pops and drops. That, and I always like to use case studies. So I look at FN, I see this case study. I was calling out a simple base breakout here. We kind of went in a little bit deeper. There were better stocks out there, but the base breakout worked out absolutely beautifully. So I want you to kind of look at this, get this image in your head, and then let's go back to your ticker, PSNL, and then let's look at this. So same thing. It's kind of like chopping around here, but what we want to see are those new higher lows, or it break out of a simple basing breakout. Simple meaning it has these to form its base rather than have 3 weeks of sideways action. You can see this comes up here. It has a base, a simple base. If it breaks out of this area on volume, just like we've seen on many, many other stocks that don't form a handle, then PSNL could really get to ripping. Now let's do a little bit of deeper dive on PSNL and see what is going on with it. So you can see we're kind of getting mixed emotions here from the EPS and sales growth, but you can see they are surely trying. It's not just kind of some kind of shit company. It's in the health service, medical and nursing services. Let's read a little bit about what's going on here. Personalis engages in the provisions of advanced genomic tests for cancer. The firm is also involved in providing sequences and data analyst service to support population sequencing incentive. The company was founded by Iwan A. Ashley, Michael Snyder, Atula J. I'll save you that, but they're in California. Of course they're in California. They're out there with you, Jolene. I do like it. I like the trade. It definitely seems very nice. When it says, the market cap's 581 million, so I think that serves as a small to mid cap. And then, of course, we have the RS rating of 98, which is obviously good. And then you're in a quicker mover at 7.52%. Definitely want to keep an eye on, especially right where it's at right now. This thing could get to going, but it being in the healthcare, are they talking about AI? Like what makes these guys so interesting? Obviously, they have a huge bout of volume. They got to have some kind of news or catalyst going on, I'm assuming. So let me just see if I can bring that up. Tempest AI expanding ties, boost novel. So I can see that if these guys are like a Tempest AI, this might be, a better one because, actually look at this. Actually, TEM Tempest right here has that same look. Look at this. TEM, is it? Yeah, this is Tempest AI, TEM. And look, you got that same look. You got these relative, this resistance area. So, yeah. Well, TEM moves about just as fast at 7.62, and it's a bigger market cap. So not as scary to be a part of, but I like it. I think I need to make that a part of. I need to make another sector now for like a healthcare, AI healthcare sector. But I'll do that on my own time. I won't waste none of your guys's. I like PSNL. Jolene, thank you for bringing that up. Beef Stew says ARLO. And let me know if you guys are here, if you got anything. This is going to be my last ticker unless you throw anything else up there. Shit, we've already been going on for an hour. We're going to end this poll. Up too much, 23% say need a break, but 54% bulls, baby. Bulls are just getting started. That's what I vote for. That's what I think too, personally. I really do. So I really do. I think we continue higher. I think it's going to be a really good time tomorrow, truly. Let's take a look at ARLO. This is in the technology industry. You can see the last time that it broke out much, much higher, it traded sideways and formed a base at this top here. Well, look at same thing. Boom, boom. Is it going to do it again? I like to see it. I think that this would be an even better area because if you look back here, it's its all-time high right here. So I like ARLO. I'm going to set my alert right here so I know when that's going off. Lots of alerts. Alerts are what get me through, guys. Always setting your alerts. All right. Last chance. I'll count to 10. 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you don't have another ticker, I'm going to get out of here, guys. But I got to say, it has been a good time. We know now that we are only, when I say only, we are now getting 3 rate cuts, which is a bullish standpoint. We are new all-time highs on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. New bullish standpoint. We also have U.S. hedge funds and money managers that are not invested still and at new all-time highs. It's really going to put the pressure for them to get invested. And then, of course, we have a ton of setups out there in the AI theme. And if you watch the Mark Caruso, the investing champion, what I put in our Discord, if you haven't watched that yet, watch it. He shows you how the 1990s internet bubble looks exactly like this AI bubble that is starting to form. It is not a bubble, folks. This is a real thing that is happening, and eventually we were going to get an explosion. It's going to be chaos, and everybody's going to be making money. But the real question is, who's going to keep that money? And I'm glad you're here with me on my journey, and I am so happy to be a part of so many of yours. So please, if you're still with me, if you're still tuned in, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to further community grow. I'd love to see this community grow further, so please back me up. Get this out to other people. Much love from all of you. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I will see you on the way out. Let me hit you with this exit, though. Peace, guys. Nothing but love. All right. I gotta say thank you. Nothing but love from you guys. You guys are awesome. Let me just give you your shout outs. Libby, my girl Libby. We'll see you in the morning, hon. Thank you so much for being here. Beef Stewie, as always, friend, comrade, trading partner, journey enthusiast. Thank you for being a part of this, Beef Stewie. Yosef, always good. Always happy to have you. Zamora, thank you so much. Jimmy Bright, good night to everyone, and thanks, Dave. You are very welcome, Jimmy. Honestly, thank you so much for your support. You guys really kick ass. Like, I am so pumped for you guys to be here just as much as I am to be here for you. So thank you, Jimmy. Jolene Martinez, thank you. Hope you have a good night. We'll see you bright and early. And make sure you get them walks in, girl. Those walks are keeping them clicking fingers from buying. My G, as always, huge shout out to you for putting in all that work. We have now a beautiful, beautiful layout for our market analysis when it comes to finding the key subsector and the stocks within it. Mama, if you're still awake, good night. I hope you have a good night. Hope you have a good morning as well. Of course, we had a few new people in here. I don't think they're with us anymore, but shout out to, nope, Jeff's been here before. What am I talking about? Not Jeff. Jeff Rosenberg, Norman Conklin, Who else we got? Zamora. Did I already say Zamora? Dirkgak. I don't know how to say it, but he's in here, baby. What else? Am I missing anybody? You know I don't like to miss them. I hope you guys have an awesome night. Thank you guys so much. Carl Burr! Oh my God, I almost missed Carl. Carl, thanks for being here, homie. Hope you guys have a good night. We'll see you in the morning. Let's make some